Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Toastmaster Vikas Agarwal, the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting number 265 of NITK Bhive Toastmasters Club. I request we follow three golden rules. I request to please switch off your mobile phone or keep it on silent mode. As a Toastmaster, we refrain from any discussion on sex, religion, and politics. For the good flow of the meeting, we refrain from any disturbance by cross-talking or leaving and entering the meeting hall when the speaker is delivering his speech. Please allow him to end his speech. As everyone has a mission to achieve their goal of success, likewise, our Toastmasters Club mission is to provide supportive and positive learning experience, which helps them with more communication and leadership skills. With this, the member gains more self-confidence and positive learning experience. Please join me in welcoming the presiding officer, the energetic entrepreneur, Toastmaster Santosh Kejriwal.
Thank you so much. For one final time. Good evening to all of you. I open meeting number 260. Chalo, let's go. Well, to all fellow Toastmasters and guests who are assembled here today for our installation ceremony, good evening to all of you and a warm welcome to each and every one who are present over here. So let us start off today's meeting number 265. First and foremost thing, the minutes of meeting number 264 was shared earlier. Last week we had a meeting which was not official actually, right? What is that meeting all about? Just celebrations, fun, singing, dancing, Sanskrit mein talking and all those things, isn't it? Huh? One of a kind event we had. No speeches, no table topics. All of us enjoyed. Thanks to all of you who made it, who were present that day, and a big thanks to all those who were not able to come. Why? Lesser bill. So we should thank everyone on that also. so the bill was not too harsh on the club. Anyway, I would have liked more people to join. It would have been more fun on that day also. So, continuing now, let me have our guest for today, or request them one by one to please introduce themselves in just 30 seconds. Your name, brief about your occupation, and who introduced you. So, to start off, our guest speaker for today, keynote speaker, Mr. J. Kumar. Just in 30 seconds, sir.
Thank you. My name is Kumar. I am known as Jala. I just was a lot of confusion. Also, my life primary considered the regular thing. So, I've been going to corporate all my life. I do technologies. I made contact with those customers. And then I've gone in touch with it for a while. Like I was going through my career. Now I'm retired and just doing all things here and there. Working with startups. Thank you.
Very warm welcome to you, Mr. J. Jaya. I am Amitabh. अरे कुछ छोड़ा ना. If you wish to see a smile on my face, don't ask that question. Now, second, our area director, Toastmaster Pramod K. Murthy. 30 seconds, please, sir.
Yeah, good evening everyone. My name is Pramod. There is a mistake in my name also sometimes. I as ProMan. Luckily I got
ProMan.
ProMan. Yeah. So luckily I got the correctly spelled. So I come from Spenny Sister Society. More to discuss, more to gather security, and with that, I'm just concluding. Later part.
Thankfully, people call you ProMad. I must thank them. They don't call you Nomad. Huh? Okay. Who else is there? Mr. Keshav. Brother Keshav.
Yeah, good evening all.
Yes, sir.
My name is Keshav. I run a company called Arcade Computer, which is a 25 company. We are our second meeting, and I'm definitely for Mr. Varian. I was supposed to be not here, and I'm here. Thank you. Likewise, people do misspell my name. One of the worst was Kasara.
But it's not that simple.
Warm welcome to you, Mr. Kashav. That's a good name. Okay, Sujita. In- Very warm welcome to you. And send my CV to you. Huh?
There is one Keshav's friend also is there.
Yeah. Keshav's son. Can you introduce yourself? First year engineering.
Hello, my name is Keshav.
We wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Huh? If you need any guidance in your engineering, you can call Prasanna. Not me. Huh?
Why not?
She is good at giving gyans.
So, today,
Huh?
not today,
Not today.
not today.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters, let's continue. Today,
Yes, sir.
hey, Lalna is also there. So sorry. Lalna and BK, I always treat them as our member only, family only. Huh? Anyway, please come.
And as one of the mentors back then is 2020, 2020, probably looking forward.
True. Welcome, Lalna. Welcome.
Good evening all. I'm Krishna, first president of this club.
Chartered President.
Chartered.
Chartered.
And now I'm retired.
Welcome. Anyone else? Okay, today, as a presiding officer or as a president of NITK, it's a mixed feeling that I should say. What is this mixed feeling? A feeling of relief and feeling of belief. So relief and belief are the two words that I coined today. I thought, let me share that. Why did I say relief? Guesses? Huh? Yes, correct. Huh? For 6 months, I have held this club and I'm very happy, very satisfied also. that over the past 6 months, I have enriched my learning experience in this club. Each and every one of you have helped me in enriching my knowledge, experience, leadership skills, etc., etc. And belief, with utmost belief, I am passing on the baton to the incoming executive committee. It's a very able committee led by Toastmaster Prasanna Kumari, and I'm sure with that able guidance and leadership skills, she will take this club to a level par excellence. Let's give a round of applause to me. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to all my executive members, starting from VP Education, Bhupaya, VP Membership Anand Ramchandra, VP PR Shalini, Secretary Habib, Treasurer Nimisha, Sergeant Vikas or Annadata. He's been called Annadata. Huh? He's done his job very sincerely for a change. For a change. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for all your support, and I'm quite sure that over the past 6 months, you all would have learned a lot on how to deliver a speech, how to react in a table topic contest and other things. Am I right?
Yes.
Only 2 years. What is this? Huh? Doesn't matter. Huh? So to take this meeting forward, let me now invite the Toastmaster of the day, who thinks a lot, has a smile also on his face, and with all these things, he puts all these things into action also. So, thinker, a smiler, and an actor, Toastmaster Bopaya. Please welcome. Come over here, sir. Madam.
Thank you. Thank you. See you all soon.
All right. Good evening, everyone. How are you all doing? All right. I'll start off with a quick question. So you heard our PO speak, our ex-PO right now. So what is the one thing that you got in his small, short speech? What did he talk about? Belief and relief. But what is the pretext or context that he picked and he spoke about it?
Feeling of joy.
Yes. Why?
Because relief
Yeah.
for the 6 months.
Yeah. So he spoke about relief, he spoke about how he's feeling happy, and he's also speaking about how his time was in the past 6 months. So what was he doing over there? He was reminiscing the moments that he spent in the past 6 months. He was thinking about something, right? And yes, he was rejoicing. So that's the word of the day for all the Toastmasters here. So it's about. So what I'm talking about is thinking about something that has transpired already in our life and then reminiscing about it, thinking about it, and then what do we do about it? What did our sir do today? He thought he spoke then. You're doing it now. Like, what are you doing? The listening after that. What's happening on your smiling? Right. So we're smiling, but why?
We are remembering the memories.
Yes, the memories, and those are happy memories, right? So those are happy memories, and that brings a smile onto our face. Now, there can be another end to it as well. When you think about something, it doesn't necessarily have to bring a smile on your face. It can be some sad thoughts, something that happened in your life, right? For example, uh, very recently, a close friend of mine, she lost her dad, who was just 65 years old, and to a heart attack. And that is something that, however harsh I may put it across, that moment will not come back. That person is not going to come back. But when you think about such incidents, what is going to happen? he will sit, he will sulk, right? But what after that? What do we do after that? That moment has passed. It's 1 month, it's 2 months. That person not coming back. Then what do you do? Yeah. Overcome. You move on. You act on it, right? So similarly, you have good thoughts, you smile, you act on it, do something about it, do something better than that. You go through some bad situations, bad incidents, you think about it, analyze what happened. But there's no point thinking about it and sulking about it, but keep moving forward with it. So that's what they say, even in Toastmasters, right? So considering myself itself, when I joined Toastmasters about 1.5 years to 2 years back, I was a okay speaker. I used to speak in a group gathering, but I used to always feel that jitters in my stomach and have that stage fright, not being able to modulate correctly when and where required. But in due course, what happened with all the members that I interact with, it's not only this club, it's a club that I interact with outside as well. We have our area director who's also holding other leadership positions earlier. Do we have our division director? Yeah. Shashank is also on the call, so I've interacted with him on a lot of occasions. And what this helps is, it's bringing a lot of connections. You're interacting with a lot of people, and it's helping you build your own self, right? Today, if I compare to myself when I was 1 year ago, I feel that I am a better orator. I modulate better. I interact better. I smile better. So these are the things that we think about, and these are the actions that we need to take whenever we think about our past. I'm sure all of you have seen Kung Fu Panda. Master Oogway, what did he say? Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift, and that's why it's called the present. So, considering today as a gift, let's begin our session today. Today, we don't have the usual structure, but we have the new XCOM coming in. So, I'll be inviting our area director who will be inducting the new members. Uh, Before I call our area director, I'd like to say a few words about him. He completed his PDGM in Operations Management from Wellington Institute of Management and currently works as a General Manager for Business Operations at Authentia Solutions. He is an AI and robotics enthusiast. Outside of work, he likes to slow down through his camera lens, capturing wildlife and urban moments that often go unnoticed. He's also a part-time blogger writing on topics that has some lessons. When not writing or shooting, that is camera shooting, you'll find him with his guitar on or or spending time with what he calls street warriors. That's the dogs, the lovely dogs. He also enjoys a quiet company with books and his captures. So without further ado, I will be inviting the division director Pramod K. Murthy on the dais, who will be conducting the installation of the new XCOM today. Shashank is there? Oh, not yet. So good evening, everyone. So as a area director here, like I just wanted to say a few words on NITK Bhive. It's a thriving club, I see. So I just got to know, like 2020, we had a tough situations and chartering a club, and we had 265 meeting today. So congratulations to everyone, and what a beautiful place to be here and to conduct this meeting, installation meeting. So with that, so we have a few changes from the division, like NITK Bhive was previously into area B1, so now officially it has been moved to B4. So, so that is some changes has happened. Right? So we welcome, I welcome you all to that B4 area. So I just formed a group also. It was named as B1 for all, B4. That's all. So with that, I'll be starting my session as the installation officer. Now I request the outgoing officers to stand or turn on videos.
We do that.
Yeah. No, wherever you're standing. So is that all? Anybody is there? That's it. Thank you all for your hard work. Now you are all discharged from all the further duties and responsibilities as officers of the club NITK Bhive. So I request the elected officers to stand up and you can be seated.
Thank you so much.
Elected officers can stand and come forward. Nobody is joined on. No, everybody is here. Okay. Starting from Sergeant at Arms. No, Sergeant at Arms, Sergeant at Arms, yeah. And then Treasurer. Yes, Treasurer. So next is Secretary. So next is VP PR. And no worries, sir. So everybody is here. So that all their names, I want to request the audience to put applause till the installation ceremony is closed. And I'm here to install the officers of NITK Bhive and to prepare them for challenges that lie ahead. Their collective challenges is to make this club strong and dedicated to helping people from all walks of life speak effectively, listen with sensitivity, and passionately to many individuals. So each officer present here is obligated to attend club executive meetings, attend district sponsored club officer training, that is TLA, prepare a successor or resource respective officer for the next term. Now I request each officer to hold the gavel, starting from Sergeant at Arms. Postmaster Megha Vaswani, as Sergeant at Arms, your responsibilities include arrange the meeting space and equipment, maintain club equipment in working order, ensure that adequate club supplies are available, set up the virtual room before the meeting begins if required, take care of waiting room and allow only authorized attendees, lock the meeting room if need be once meeting commences, ensure to take care of online meeting controls and meeting recordings if need be, attend to special equipment needs, greet guests, help the president make sure the meeting begins on time. Postmaster Meghna Vaswani, will you perform this duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
President. As a treasurer, you are expected to keep financial records and prepare the club budget, announce when it's time for members to pay dues, explain the dues structure to the members, collect dues, work with secretary to ensure that club submits dues on time to Toastmasters International World Headquarters. Toastmaster Vikas Agarwal, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do.
Second. Toastmaster Vinod Khandelwal, as secretary, you will maintain an accurate membership roster. You work with the treasurer to ensure that new member applications and dues get to Toastmasters International World Headquarters as soon as possible. Submit the new club officer list to Toastmasters International on time. Work with treasurer, submit your club's semi-annual report and dues to Toastmasters International on time. Take care of noting down attendance for meetings. Provide the club with minutes of each meeting. Toastmaster Vinod Khandelwal, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes.
Toastmaster Nimisha Aloha, as a lead public relations, you are expected to attract visitors to the club through free publicity. Use a kind of means to promote the club and its members in as many media as possible, such as digital, print, TV,
Enlist your fellow club members in peer activities, providing them with promotional materials and ideas for inviting leaders. Regularly recognize member achievements with methods such as announcements, newsletters, emails, and articles that you submit for the district meeting. Toastmaster Divisha Verma, will you perform this duty to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Toastmaster Srikanth, as a weekly membership, you are expected to lead the club's membership building efforts, help members with any requirement during the journey, listen to their grievances, and also provide emotional support if need be. While the weekly clear motivates people to visit your club, you motivate the current members to become guests. Promptly give new member applications and dues to the secretary and treasurer. Personally greet guests and provide them with guest packets, including the membership application. Make sure each guest hears about the benefits of Toastmasters and gets a personal invitation to become a member. Toastmasters, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Toastmaster Shalini Mukul, as Vice President of Education, you are expected to gain commitments from members to set educational goals for themselves. Assure that club members are aware of the schedule of meeting goals, plan meetings that will assist members in meeting their individual goals, work with club members to keep meetings fun and well run. Work with your members to ensure that they submit their applications for educational awards promptly. Provide your educational topics at club meetings. Present your club at area and district council meetings. As the second highest ranking officer, preside over the meeting when the club president is absent. Toastmaster Shalini Mukul, will you perform your duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Toastmaster Prasanna Kumari, as president of NITK Bhive, you are the chief executive officer. Thus, you preside at all club meetings and all meetings of the club executive committee. It is your challenge to see that this club adds new members and meets the needs of its current members to achieve their communication and leadership goals. Establish a club climate that is supportive, stimulating, and rewards for its members. Realize that among the resources available, your commitment is towards your fellow club members, your officer team, your area director, your division director, and district rank officers and officers of Toastmaster International Headquarters. Toastmaster Prasanna Kumari, you know the dance as a symbol of power and authority that your club has entrusted you during your term of office. I am confident that you will use it wisely and with restraint. You are a member of your team as well as a leader. A team is more than just a group of people, it is an emotional force rooted in the feelings, thoughts, and actions of all members, united by the common goal of achieving, sharing, and mutual support. Work with your team members to create a healthy, dynamic club, a club that everyone will be proud of. Toastmaster Prasanna Kumari, as a member of NITK Bhive Toastmasters Club, as well as its members, will you work with your executive team and club members to put this commitment and provide this and help them with honesty, integrity, and empathy?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. Dear members of NITK Bhive Toastmasters Club, please, if you are in online, turn on your video and others will listen.
Please turn on the videos. Online
Could you please turn on the video?
Start with the video, please.
Amita, could you turn on your video, please? Yeah, she's done.
dear members, you are standing wherever you are connected. So your officer team has been present here, and they are just committed to serve this club to the best of its ability to make NITK Beehive Toastmasters Club Toastmasters the best possible and to meet the needs of all the members. Active participation from each of you is as essential for these officers as well. Do you, as members, wish to work with your officer team to make this finest Toastmasters Club it can be?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, you can take your seats. By the authority vested in me as the area director of District 92 for Area B4, it is my sincere pleasure to declare these Toastmasters, the officers, officially installed in their respective club offices. Please join me in welcoming the NITK Beehive Toastmasters. These officers will be serving their term from July 2025 to December 2025. And congratulations to all. It's over to you, Toastmaster. Thank you so much, Area Director Pramod. We have Division Director Shashank as well online. So to give you on behalf of NITK, first of all, I'd like to congratulate our newly elected Division Director, Shashank. Uh, for those of you who do not know him, he is an entrepreneur, a passionate trainer, and a wanderlust. With an experience of over 9 years in training, he has helped over 15,000 individuals, including students, chartered accountants, foreign delegates, corporate and government employees, officers and auditors of C and AG, officers and commissioners of income tax, etc., etc. The list goes on. He is a past president of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, the second oldest and one of the largest Toastmasters Club in India. Having served as Area B2 Director for the program year 24-25, he is the current Division B Director for program year 25-26. Please welcome Shashank Bhatt. Shashank, if you would like to say a few words to the incoming team.
Thank you very much. Am I audible?
Yep.
Okay. First of all, members, I could not be there today. I'm currently out of town, but I wanted to attend this session, so I somehow arranged for an online setup. So, thank you for inviting me, first of all, today. And it's my pleasure to be amongst all of you today for this installation ceremony. Congratulations to the newly elected officers. I think we have a great team of officers this time, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you. And NITK Beehive, it's not only a club, it's a community where leaders are born, voices are heard, and confidence is cultivated. I've seen firsthand of the transformation of various members of NITK Bhive Toastmasters Club, and when I attended the contest as an organizer last year, it was nothing short of amazing. I really believe that the judges would have had a hard time in picking the winners because it was so tough, and it's always been like that at NITK Bhive, and I hope it continues throughout. To the outgoing committee, I think you did a fabulous job this term in starting with the outgoing president, Toastmaster Santosh, and the entire team. I think you did a brilliant job. I think in keeping the NITK Beehive flag flying high. And to the incoming officers, you're not just filling roles, you're shaping a culture. Again, you're building the Toastmasters culture at our club. Your example will set the tone for everything the club achieves. I know you will lead with purpose, you will support each other. Don't be afraid to stretch beyond your comfort zone as well. Because the district leadership, division leadership, and area leadership is always there to guide you. And to the incoming officers, you have our backs, so go ahead, rock it. And to all the members, without you, the club will not run. Even though the ExCom is there to lead the club, but without the members, the ISKCON will not have value. So support the executive committee in whatever way possible. Keep showing up, keep participating. You are the heartbeat of this club. So the energy what you bring as members is what drives the XCOM as well as the club. So we have a lot of initiatives lined up for the division, and it's going to be fun this year. I will reach out to the executive committee of the club as well. Your area director, Toastmaster Pramod, will be there to support you throughout. I will be there to support throughout. There are a lot of initiatives lined up, so I'm sure it's going to be a great term. Loads of learning. We'll all step up and improve one step at a time and one meeting at a time. Thank you very much for inviting me here. I look forward to attending your meeting in person.
Thank you so much, Division Director Shashank Bhatt. So without further ado, I think we are here at the moment that we are waiting for. It's I think not all women leadership, but the top leadership is taken over by the women, and it is something like a proud moment for our club. So without further ado, I think the woman of the hour, a passionate Rotarian, she's a passionate entrepreneur. She's always passionate whenever she talks to us as well. She has a lot of ideas, a lot of communication. So without further ado, please welcome our new incoming president, Toastmaster Prasanna Kumar.
Every sunrise brings with the promise of new beginning, a chance to grow, learn, and redefine ourselves. New beginnings aren't about forgetting the past, but taking its lessons forward with courage. Today, let's embrace the change, welcome the challenges, and let's speak with redefined confidence. Because every great speaker once began by simply beginning. Dear Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests, today I stand before you. I feel the weight and the wonder of the new role which is given to me as the president of the esteemed Toastmaster Club NITK Bhive. I know and I believe that it is not just a role. It's not a title. It's a responsibility, a privilege, and above all, it's a new lesson filled with possibilities. When I stand here, when I get into the shoes of the leadership, I feel immense gratitude towards the leaders before me and feel I will take it forward into the path coming. Together, we will build not only a great club and speakers, but a community, as my area director was saying, a community which have the bonding. I believe in bonding, so I feel that we can bring it that together. We are already there, but I can make it more. We can make it more stronger together, I believe. Here is to a year of growth, courage, and shared success. Let us rejoice this moment. With my ESCOM team and the members of NITK Bhive, I am very confident and I know that we will reach all our goals and we will take NITK Bhive into greater heights. Before I conclude, I would like to thank few people. First of all, I would like to thank our favorite, known as BKK, BK Krishnamurthy sir, a Toastmaster and a Rotarian, and Lalina Murthy ma'am, who introduced me to Toastmasters. So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very, very much. And ma'am, thank you very much for coming here today. Thank you very much. And next, coming to my mentor. What do I talk about him? As he known as the monk of the club. He's the master. Silent, a listener, and abundance of knowledge. He mentored me, and you know what? The first meeting itself, he just put me into the sea, not into the pond. Just to put me in between the sea and asked me to come back faster. I hope I stand up to my promises and your expectations on me. Thank you very much for being there for as a mentor, as a guide, as a friend. Thank you. Now, coming back to Amitabh Bachchan, Kishore Kumar, and the tallest pillar of our club, Rotarian Toastmaster Santosh Kejriwal. What do I talk about him? Any situation you put it in front of him. Is it very difficult? Is it very easy? He will have a smile on his face. He will clear it out, with a smile and adding a little bit of humor. Isn't it Santosh ji? He always guided me. He always, whenever I was shaking, he said, no, PK, you can do it. So always he was there and he will be there for with us. And when I stand in front of him, I feel vertically challenged. Because so this timer is showing the time, red card. So thank you very much choosing me as the president of the cult. If I missed anybody's name, Shalini, Bopaya, Nimisha, Tripura, everyone, they stood not only not behind me, with me and around me, giving me energy, power. We are there with you. I was a little skeptical to take the role. So, but they all stood with me, around me. Thank you very much. Thank you. Let us have a good year.
Thank you and welcome all the rest. Books are keys to wisdom's treasure. Books are gates to lands of pleasure. Books are paths that upward lead. Books are friends. Come, let us read. So that's how I want to introduce the next person. He was introduced to Toastmasters at Oracle headquarters in 1995. Subsequently, he was part of the group that founded the first Toastmasters club at Oracle Bangalore. He has a BTech in Electronics and Telecom from IIT Bombay and an MBA from IIM Bangalore. He brings a deep understanding of business coupled with hands-on exposure to all aspects of technology management to Adi Walka. He began his career at Wipro and was among the first employees of Oracle's India Development Center. He has led the Indian Global Technology Centers for companies such as Ariba, SAP, Walmart, and Sabre. He continues to work with startups in diverse fields from garment industry to board games and technology. In over 3 decades of his career, he has honed and developed his skills in areas of product architecture through implementation, people management, and a myriad other aspects of running a business. With a career experience in both Indian and Western cultures, he brings international experience and strength to Adiwarka. His passion is to nurture and help young leaders grow to their full potential. He is a voracious reader and has a collection of over 5,000 books. He has donated over 3,000 books to university libraries. He has a deep expertise in history and is a good senator. He was featured in many podcasts available on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and Amazon, where he talks about nurturing entrepreneurship. Without further ado, I'd like to call Mr. K. Jayakumar to talk to us about entrepreneurship and leadership.
So, thank you, Bobs, and I would first like to congratulate all of you for the fantastic environment, a warm, welcoming vibe that you have in the entire group. That was something that struck me when I walked in and meeting each one of you. I could sense the support that you give each other. And I think that that's very good for people who join this Toastmasters Club. They will feel really well supported. So when I think Prasanna is called PK. Is that okay? So when she reached out to me and said, you have to give a keynote speech, um, I was not quite sure what the keynote speech should say. Uh, it could say many things, but this is a Toastmasters club, and so should we speak about um, developing a good way of speaking, or should we talk about leadership, or should we talk about all of it? I was not quite clear. And to be fair to PK, I never asked her also. So I have some things to share today, and some of them may be relevant, and if some of them are not, please bear with me. So many years ago, while I was going through my career journey, I was a techie, and knowing my background, I was um, very thrilled with technology. I would feel very proud of programming, and you've seen the techies, as they call them, nerds, who will keep appearing, and I was one of those. And I did not really care for much for the management types. I thought they were all people who um, full of hot air, did not really serve any purpose, and all the real work was done by the people who started coding. And as I meandered through my career, I landed up many years later in the Bay Area. I was working in a startup for which I was one of the co-founders. And I met a gentleman called Mark Anderson. I don't know if you're familiar. Mark Anderson was the gentleman who actually created the browser. The browser that you know today, he was one of the first. And another gentleman called Tim House, um, who invented the lightweight directory access protocol, which is one of the, I know there's too much of jargon, so please bear with me. It's something which controls the access of people over networks to your machine, one of the early protocols. And in our startup, they came, and at that time, Mark Anderson, his company, Netscape, you must have heard of Netscape, one of the early browsers, they were wanting to acquire our company. And they went through a full round of discussion. I used to be the head of engineering, so he put me up against a wall and ran me through a lot of questions. Um, and then um, he made an interesting comment. He said, "You are a good engineer. You know your stuff, but you need to sell your technology. If you are just good, creating technology is not enough. For a technology to have any purpose, it must first of all solve a problem." That was one of the first things he called me. And then he said, if you choose to be a CTO, a chief technology officer, then you must be a very good speaker because you have to inspire people to buy into your technology. And I realized if you just took away the technology itself and you took it to any industry, all the people there who actually do the work always feel that, hey, I'm the guy. The marketing guy is just going and doing some random stuff, making PPTs and telling people, blowing a lot of hot air. But that's not true. However good you are, and no matter in what part of the society and what part of the corporate you're working in, it's very important to be able to convey your ideas. And this Toastmasters was one of the first organizations, it struck me because I went to the US after Oracle, that which nurtured such an environment, which helped people to speak, which got people together, and it was very supportive. Even if people were not good at it, over time they started improving and they became better and became impressive orators. And here, I thought all of you were impressive orators. I could not see one single beginner in all the people who spoke. So it just shows how powerful the community and the clubs are by themselves. Okay, so I thought I would just leave that thought with you. And then I went about trying to figure out what should I say for the keynote speech. And I hope you will not hold me to the red flag because I'm not sure whether I timed myself well for it. So I thought I would compare uh, speaking and leadership to what we experienced driving up to Bangalore traffic. So, so um, So Bangalore traffic has many characteristics. And if you're navigating Bangalore traffic every day, you know it is unpredictable. And now it is even more unpredictable under the guise of um, something called VAC, which we will come to soon. That is, the more things change, the more they remain the same, is what it looks like. And you need a lot of patience, as you will find with road rage and people cutting in front of you. Um, and so, wanting to have these qualities, and then finally, if you arrive at the place safely, without scratching your car and without having people yell at you, without people honking at you, then you have really done a good job of driving in Bangalore today. It's guaranteed otherwise to have some nice incident. So, going through these leadership lessons, one of the important things for leaders and for the team that's taking over today is that you are off to a great start. And today is one of the greatest starts that I've seen, very smooth. So if you stand at a traffic signal and you see that the light turns from red to green, very smooth. And then you have all these interesting people who come from the side. You will get the motorcyclist between you and the wall. He will squeeze in somehow, and then he will come right in front of you, and then and he'll be gunning his motorcycle. You would have seen that. And then just as it turns green, his engine will die. And then he'll be kicking the motorcycle, and say, yes, sorry, very sorry, very sorry. And then he wants to move to the side. You must have seen that happen. And he'll be boiling mad because you just want to get on with it. And this guy could have just stood at his place at the back of the line. Would not. Will not, does not have the patience. Similarly, you have auto drivers who will come up, and then just as the signal turns to green, his engine will die, and then he'll be pulling that, cranking that lever that he has on the side, sitting, wanting the auto to start. So that's called a very, shall we say, a diffident or a slow start. That's not how you should be launching a speech or launching a leadership team. It should be really smooth, like it is today. And it's really amazing to see all the different parts roll together so exceedingly well. Then, if you've driven on Bangalore roads, you would have seen different kinds of speed bumps, right? They are unmarked, they are uneven, and they are unnerving. If you drive over them, suddenly your head will hit the roof. My head hits the roof. The only car where it did not hit the roof, if you are driving at any reasonable speed, is the WagonR, which is a tall roof model, many years ago. But now I'm very, very careful. You have to drive over them very slowly. So you will come up across different kinds of obstacles, you would say, for speed bumps. And these obstacles can have exactly the same characteristics. They will not come with a flag. They will be unmarked. They will come suddenly. They may be of different sizes, big or small. In all your roles of leadership, not just in the Toastmasters. And you have to have the patience to navigate through them. And to remember where to go slowly, to make sure you know how to cushion the suspension of the vehicle. So if we take an example of a Toastmasters meeting, if somehow you suddenly forget where you are in the speech, that would be like a pothole, right, on the road. Or if suppose the person who's playing the role of the timer forgets what has happened to the time, then that would be like you've seen the vegetable cart vendor. He'll be pushing across, and he'll be coming at top speed, and he'll start pushing his cart right across the road at that time. It'll be something like that. Or if some of the members of your speech of your group, as you're participating in table topics, forget their role, and so your time starts getting extended, it will be like the cop, the policeman, who will stop you and say, "Hey, can I see your emission certificate?" See, what? Emission certificate? And you'll have to stop and show him the emission certificate or pay $1,000 fine or whatever the fine is. I have paid it, by the way, so it's a personal angst for me. Especially because he caught me on the day when my emission certificate had just expired, and I was going to get the emission certificate. He said, "Sorry, you don't have one. You should have done it yesterday." So that's the analogy of the speed bumps to leadership and to speaking. And then you have the U-turns in Bangalore. If you've ever driven on roads and you miss a U-turn, you have to go 3 kilometers to get the next U-turn, right? U-turn is actually when you change direction. You either turn back or you change or go somewhere else. So in your speech, when you're talking and you move from one idea to another, your transition has to be smooth. And so that's why you can sort of liken it to the U-turn, maybe with a little stretch of imagination. But you must have seen those small lorry drivers who don't want to actually take the U-turn and travel, let's say, half the distance back to take his right. So what would he do? He would, at that junction, coolly cross over to the wrong side and come in the same direction, the wrong side of the road. You must have seen that. That's how they drive. And so sometimes when you forget what you're talking about, you will end up speaking on the same point because you're not remembering, and you really have to look to see what was my next topic. So that would be an example of forgetting to take a turn, forgetting to move to the next idea in the concept that you're presenting, and then continuing just down the road. in the same direction. So that's an example of a nice U-turn that you should take and you may forget. So the other thing that I think we need to remember is when we drive on the road, we must look at all the people who are traveling with us. So traveling on the same road. So you could have different kinds of people, right? Suddenly there'll be two cows who are parked coolly on a busy road, absolutely oblivious to the traffic going around them, and you will come. You'll have to be standing on the brakes to make sure you don't hit the poor cow, because in India you have a lot of respect for cattle or for any life form on the road in general. Then you have the BTS bus, which will come from the extreme left to make a right turn at the signal. And you will be standing at the signal and the bus will simply crowd you out because the bus driver just doesn't care. It doesn't, because if you hit him, you are going to be in trouble. The bus, nothing happens to the bus. It's a huge thing. Or you have I was about to say old uncle, and then I realized I was the old uncle. So driving on the road in a say Maruti 800, and you'll put the right turn and then you'll turn left. And at least I showed my correct hand when I was showing the right and left turn, and then you get very confused. And this, by the way, happens quite a lot on Indian roads, especially in the rural roads. If you're a biker, I don't know if any of you are bikers. I'm a biker and I ride a bike. So if you go outside of Bangalore and ride down the freeways, you'll find many people who would often do this. So we'll give the right turn and we'll turn left. And the bikes actually move really fast, and thank God they have good brakes. You will be screaming into your helmet saying, "What the hell are you doing? I mean, you should go in the direction that you intended." So while you are speaking, you must also look at all the people you are talking to, and you get feedback directly from them, whether they are with you as you are speaking, whether they are following you, whether they have caught the spirit of what you're saying. And it's like, for the leadership, as you navigate the team through the next 6 months, is everybody should be going in the same direction. Like in Brigade Road, one way, everybody has to go in the same direction. You should not have some people who think it's okay to put it in reverse gear and come back up the wrong way, thinking that, hey, that's legal. You must have seen those, right? You put the car in reverse gear and he backs into the one way. And then if the cop catches him, he says, "Hey, I'm not driving in the direction, I'm in reverse gear." Of course, today they don't accept that, they fine you anyway. So it's important for the leadership team to take the people together as you progress through the course of the next 6 months. And so, some examples of how Bangalore traffic correlates to leadership and to speaking. And so with that, I would like to say to the leadership team that I hope your journey for the next 6 months is full of smooth transitions, great U-turns that you will take. You will carry all the people with you, and then you will enjoy reaching the end, the destination. You have two destinations. One is every week you will come here to meet and talk to people. And at the end of 6 months, you have another destination of becoming good speakers, and which I think will happen anyway if you turn up regularly. And so, all the best to the ex-XCOM and what I would like to call the next XCOM. You know, the X, you say my X is for the past. So when you say XCOM, I was just thinking to myself, you should probably call the incoming com as next com. Next XCOM. Otherwise, if you call everybody XCOM, then everybody's an XCOM. You know? Who is the present com? You should be saying next com. So just a suggestion. But with that, thank you very much. I really enjoyed the ambience you have here. Any sort of questions, actually, there are many different things I could talk about, but I'm happy to take any questions you may have. I'm not sure whether I touched on the.
Not Bhairav, but I think you told me that you are motivation reading a lot of books, you have historical books. How does that transform your leadership journey or friendship journey? Like, what are the books you read that help you build your journey, or something that was side?
Okay. So you're actually asking a very deep question, though it looks like a very normal question that people would ask, but I suspect there is a lot more to it. So the first person who actually taught me reading was my mother. And she used to read Chanda Mama. You remember Chanda Mama? I don't know if it's still there. She used to read to me and my brother. And then, you will not believe this, when I was a kid, I graduated from there to Louis L'Amour when I was in class 8. Harold Robbins and Max Brand without knowing many of the stuff that was written in the book at that age. Um, so I started reading, and the reason I say that because I started reading because it sort of became a habit with no intention. I read because my mother taught me to read, and I could read anything, so I read because I could. So you may not even have heard of books like Perry Mason. You have, yeah. So that's a lawyer and legal cases in New York and all that stuff. So I used to read all that stuff when I was in school, and I would understand this, but I did not understand the culture because it would describe America. I used to live in Calcutta, go to school in Calcutta. But later on, I used to go to a school run by Jesuits, and the Padri were mentors for me and all of us who went to that school together. And he made us run the library of that school during the summer holidays, which was like for 3 months. And we read every book which was in that library in that 3 months because he said you can take any book home because you're giving free labor. So that's one bonus that's given to you. So we read Hindi. I don't know how many people have read books in Indian languages. They are just incredible. S.L. Bhairappa is one of my gurus today. At that time, of course, I did not know anything about S.L. Bhairappa. In my view, he should get the Nobel Prize for Literature, but it's being a Western club. It's very hard for authors, very rare. Rabindranath Tagore was one of those rare guys who got it. I know there are a few, but you have many Indian authors who write incredible literature, and then you realize that storytelling did more than tell stories. It could, what today the management gurus present as, they create an emotional connection to the brand. You can convey how to navigate difficult situations through stories, and later on, today I realize that the ancients already knew this. That's why we have all these epics and Mahabharata and Ramayana, and many of the stuff is already there in them. In fact, if you read some of the books, I don't know if you heard of Rumi. Yeah, he's a Sufi teacher, Turkey and all that, from Afghanistan. Yeah, his magnum opus is called Matnavi Manavi or Masnavi Manavi, depending on what is the English translation you're looking at. So it's like the Alibaba, how do you say, story within a story within a story within a story, like much like Inception, the movie, the dream within a dream. If you read through it, it's like that. However, you could read it with many lenses of exemplars of human behavior, lenses of how you would navigate difficult situations. If you read it in another way, it would tell you about spiritual journeys, and spiritual journey is a completely different, you would need to read it with a different lens. And so then you realize the power of words, power of writing. Obviously, Rumi wrote the book, or other teachers similarly in other places wrote similar books, and they then have an impact on you. So many times you think you are reading a book, but in reality, the books will be reading you. You will be changing. So that's my long answer to your very. There is much more layers of meaning behind it, but that's how it goes.
Sir, I have one question.
Please don't call me sir, just call me Jaya.
Okay. Jaya.
Yes. I'm good, I'm okay with it. Other people have problems. If you notice, PK calls me Jay. She has to struggle with Jaya because Jaya is a girl's name.
Jaya was Jaya question.
Yeah.
I have been an entrepreneur for 6 years now.
Yeah.
And in your profiling, the one thing which really stood out for me, apart from the fact that I also read books, is how you have helped so many industries or so many startups to become great entrepreneurs or turn them into great companies. So some tips if you would like to share with us.
Okay. Maybe, thank you. So 2, 3 thoughts that I have. Again, these are just distillations, and I've had the honor of, I saw this written by Warren Buffett, and I learned about Warren Buffett way back when I was in the US. In fact, wanted to attend his meetings, and all these guys often say keep it simple. So one thing is, you must be solving a real problem, unless you are in the league of Steve Jobs, where he's creating the product and then creating the market, for which you have to have a different kind of setup. I don't know if you're familiar that Steve Jobs' perspective is the market does not know what they want, and I will come up with the UI and or with the, if you saw the iPod and the iPad and the interfaces and how they should function. And so once it goes into the market, they will take it. So he put himself sort of, or his team, and the current guy who leads their operating system group for the Mac OS, for the iPad. Craig Federighi was somebody I had the opportunity to interact with many years ago. He used to be the CTO for Ariba. And his comment was that there are two ways of looking at things. One is, you know best, you are the designer of the product, you know what it needs, and you take it to market and you create the market, much like he created streaming music, streaming videos, and the entire streaming market was actually built by Steve Jobs. And on the other hand, there's a real problem. People have a pain point, and you work at solving the pain point. So you could start a product from there. So these are two different approaches. Either it must solve a product, or you must be a visionary. You can see things which others can't. So you have these two perspectives of arriving at a product. Then you have to build the team. Nothing is more important than the team. And it was very nice to see PK's team and the vibe that you folks give. I have to say, I have been in many meeting rooms, many intimidatory meeting rooms, both in the Bay Area and here with VCs, with senior executives from senior corporations. Each room has a vibe. And this room had the vibe of very accepting and comfortable vibe, which is very key for, if you don't have that, only when you have that people will speak freely. People will not be worried. I will not be worried about making a mistake because I know you'll support me. You'll tell me, hey, you could do this better next time. And you'll say it with genuine intention of helping me grow. And that's very rare, I have to say. And so somehow NITK Bhive has got it. And I know the magic, but you really do have it, I have to say. And that was something I really appreciated. And therefore, all the seniors, when I see you, I think I should be touching your feet because you cannot imagine how hard it is to get a group of people who are all adults, grown egos, to come together and create an environment, even if it is for a specific context. This is not a one-size-fits-all group. It's for leadership and for speaking, but you have it here. And it's very rare. So it's amazing. So you must have that team. That team is very critical. So if you go for any VC meetings, they don't bet on the ideas as much as they bet on the people. Because the idea, there's guaranteed that you won't know, you will not arrive at the perfect idea when you start. So you must be able to pivot. You'll be going in one direction, taking the U-turn, so you must be able to change. And the team must come together and put in the horsepower and the hard yards necessary to change this direction of the product. And if they are lazy or if they are lethargic and the change doesn't happen, then this just sort of will fizzle out. The momentum will go. But if they are able to do that, and so VCs always watch for how is the team together. If only one guy is energetic and the other people are not so, then it's a problem. Generally, when they come together, do they raise the energy level? Guess what? It happens in this room for Toastmasters. That's why I say when everybody walks in there, you're walking in from completely different context, right? Somebody from some difficult meeting, somebody is coming harried from the traffic, somebody has some personal problem to sort out. But when you come here, you're all together. And you sort of raise the level of each other in the room. That's what is needed in the startup. And so to keep it very simple, you must be solving a problem or you must be a visionary. You must get the right team together. That is number two. And after that comes everything else, all the fancy PPTs and presentations and the valuations and how you should go. If you have these two, you have the two most important elements in place. And then you should go ahead with the startup. Yes, sir.
I have three questions.
Sure.
All are connected.
Fair.
Any book you have read multiple times?
Yeah, many books I have read multiple times. Many books. Are you asking me for suggestions or are you just asking me if I've read? I'm good with it.
Yeah, that was one. The second one, what was your perspective at first moment when you read this book? And how did it change? The third question is, what was the change you saw? First I thought it was this guy who planned this, and then you got to know this was the whole situation plan.
Great question. I will not strictly stick to the structure of the questions that you have. I'll slightly alter it. So the book I'll pick is a book called Learning How to Learn by a gentleman called Idris Shah. He was a Sufi grandmaster, and so I was connected with those guys in some fashion at some point. But Learning How to Learn taught me not just learning something in a context, but to look at the way I learned. So each of us learn very differently. So this, if you any of you are connected with NLP, you will know. Oh, you know NLP? Fantastic. Father Dick, I don't know if you heard of Father Dick. He used to do the NLP training, passed away unfortunately a couple of years ago. Neuro-linguistic programming, and so being visual, kinesthetic, auditory, you have all these ways of learning, all these inputs, and those inputs, people are basically 80% visual, X% auditory, and then you have kinesthetic, that is touch and feelings. Um, so the way you learn is depends on the context in which you grow up. So if you observe how you learn, then what you learn it actually becomes immaterial. You can learn really fast. And the people, Richard Bandler, and I think I forget what his first name was, Steve Grinder, he picked up a new language in just 6 or 7 days, one of the South African languages, because he knew how he learned, and he knew how to learn a language, and to go and pick up a language then became very easy. Most of us, because we are taught one size fits all in this school education system we have, they teach a fish how to climb a tree, and then when it doesn't work, you fail the fellow. So if you are somebody who learns by doing, you want somebody to do it with you, and then you pick up fast, and then he is more adept at mental processing, and so I give a good lecture with a nice PPT, and he gets it. Then you two learn differently, and it doesn't matter what you're learning. But you must be aware that that's how I learn, and I'm not good in that context. That's what the book Learning How to Learn taught me. How do I learn? And then whenever you're going to get into a new context, you check whether the way it learns is aligned to the way you learn. If not, you seek out methods in the context of how you can do that. So for example, if I could just say, it's like learning bicycling through correspondence course. I don't know if you ever tried that. So if I just put up a thing here, hey, this is how you give a good speech. Have the bullet points, put it all this way, be very humorous, do some X, Y, Z, and then everybody will laugh. And somebody might actually get it. You never know. Put a monkey long enough on the typewriter, the Shakespeare business comes out. Or you sit down with somebody and seek their help, and then you practice with them, because you learn by doing. And you learn, or you see, he also makes a mistake as they do, and you don't get disheartened. Everybody makes mistakes, and so that doesn't bother you. So some people learn one way, some people learn a different way, but our school system doesn't care for all that. They just give one bullshit and then mess up people big time. That is why I always tell children when I work with them that don't worry. If you look at the athletics, our Neeraj, the guy who's javelin thrower, the gold medal. So Dheeraj, yeah? Neeraj Chopra, right? So when you go through tournaments, they plan their year to decide when to peak, because the important tournament which they want to win, they will peak their physical fitness only at that time. Of course, Neeraj now is at a level he's running all tournaments, but typically 100 meters sprinters like all US and who the current guys are in the 100 meter sprint, they will participate in 10 tournaments in the year, and they will say these 3 are critical because they have some gating into the Olympics and so on. So they will plan their physical fitness through the year so that they peak at a particular time. Similarly, you would practice or you would learn in a way in your life. Different people peak at different times, and so it doesn't matter if you don't get into IIT today, because tomorrow you may be the guy who in ISRO. Not one single fellow from IIT is there in either DRDO or ISRO, and they are sending satellites to Mars, and all the fellows in IITs like me are selling soap with Hindustan Unilever. So you can imagine, I mean, the best talent in India has been led down the garden path, while the regular folks. So therefore, I would ask the question: are they really best, and are these guys really regular? Not really, right? The regular folks who come are joining this, and they are sending a satellite or a rocket to Mars at lesser cost than these fellows who go abroad and then make a movie out of it at so many hundreds of millions of dollars. So you peak at different points in time. Unfortunately, our system tends to dishearten people because they don't make progress at some point. Whereas that is just an indication of, hey, that is where you are today. That doesn't mean that the rest of life you're going to be like that. So you have to remember that the way the athletes peak, people peak at different times in their lives. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for today's help. I'm sure a lot of us have a lot of questions, but he's still available till about 9:30. So we can take our questions to the dining table as well. Um, Whenever I drive from Martinagar to Whitefield, I always think, I should put a camera and take it to DKC uncle, as I call him, you know, to send and tell him that, see the quality of roads that you provide, we send taxes. But today's keynote speech took that itself, took those potholes, those traffic, and converted that to a leadership adage. So that is something that, and I think that is a key takeaway that I can think of right now. Identifying all those potholes and pausing the U-turns when and where we're supposed to take U-turns. So that was a good, keynote session, and I really enjoyed it. A big round of applause too. All right, it's 8:15. Do we have time for table topics? Okay. Okay. 2, 3. Because it's going to be different today. I don't have any topics with me. So what I've planned is, so we have a good number of attendees today. On the left-hand side, we have one team. On the right-hand side, we have another team. And I'll give you 2 minutes starting now. So you huddle among yourself and come up with 3 or 4 topics right now. And you will be asking one member from the other team to speak about that topic. All right? So 2 minutes starts now. How do you huddle? That's up to you. Your 2 minutes starts now. What about dinner? Okay. All right, I guess 2 minutes are up. Yeah. So let's hold on to those topics. So I think our area director wants to take a lead. So I'd invite our ex-presiding officer and the current president to hand over a memento to our area director.
A small memento of a book. Today we were talking about books. So I would like you to read and get back to me with how you like the book.
It's like kindness did by work integrated. So thank you all. Thank you for this wonderful book. And it's an honor. Like I'm getting from PK to PK. I'm also PK. Thank you, and you enjoy your term. I'll be visiting the second term also. Second visit will be there, and along with the PD. So we'll make a good, memorable one also. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
Like to see more often.
Yeah, I'll be.
Division Director Shashankji, you have to come here to collect your memento, right? Huh. So virtually we are showing you. You should come here.
All right, so are we ready? Should we toss or who would like to start? Or I think there's some activity happening here, so I'll allow that to start. So you can pick one person and assign the topic to that person who will speak for 2 minutes. Do you have a timer? Can I be the timer? The timer? Yeah, same. it to us. No topic will lead to disqualification. Come on. What's the topic? What's the topic? Yeah. Yeah. Who do you want to speak? Oh, yeah, okay.
The first topic we give you story in story in 2 minutes. Yeah. Something you should rejoice.
They will give another.
Yeah,
I can't speak for 2 minutes, I speak for 2 seconds. So, when I were traveling on train, so one person from my place says, I just spoke to God. And the other one responded, I didn't know such thing.
All right.
Think of one topic.
Who do you want to speak? Who do you want? Yeah.
Money. So this is exactly to keep the keynote session really fresh and alive with something is for you. One book that you have read and why do you like it? There could be many, but one book that you have read and why do you like it?
You can come here.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my dear friends. The one book which I read and which I feel that it was interesting and it was useful for me is Gurraj Karjagi's Kannada book, which has many stories, small stories, which has a meaningful chapters. So what we can, one such story I would like to take up, what you can give it to others. Be a giver. We should be a giver. So I'm not so rich to give the money. I'm not so rich to give my all the jewelries or the ornaments. But what can I give? So just a smile, a big smile for the one who is very sad. So I remember that always my daughter used to say, shall we do a project in Rotary which makes the policeman who will be standing in the traffic to smile because he has so much of tension, so much of this one to lead the traffic from that side to this side and to stop, but he never smiles. So she was telling, just we will give a rose or some chocolate which we can make him smile. And what we can give for the one who is very sad or sorrow, just give your shoulder or just 1 minute of time so that they can grieve, they can tell you what the sorrow is. Never we listen to them. So just we will pass on. So be a giver so that your life will be very meaningful. Thank you.
That was a great takeaway message. One more?
Yeah, we are getting
Let's,
disaster for this question now.
we have questions for somebody else?
Yeah. We have a topic. It's made in one.
Okay.
So let's finish up one thing. And we will go.
Two more items.
Because we don't have another topic. That topic was given by Toastmasters.
For lead career, as per my present role, I want to be a lecturer in a college where I can give my all my tactics, all my systems to make people happy. I want to make them learn because I see lots of sorrow around me. Maybe they are suffering from some other problems. So I want to teach them, be as a professor or a faculty, visiting faculty. So I want to do that. Thank you.
Well, considering we have run out of time, So let's do a quick evaluation as to who the winner is by clapping, okay? Whoever gets the highest clap, they are the winner. So, Mr. James, sir. Madhvi ma'am. Vikas sir. Madhvi ma'am. So I think we have a winner, Toastmaster Madhvi. Oh, you want to give it a go? All right, with that, we come to the end of our meeting number 265. We've seen a lot of transitions happen. We've enjoyed a lot, and we'll see a lot of attendance as well. So with this, I'd like to hand it over to our presiding officer, and we'll also take some feedback from our guests today. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. So as our theme says today, think, smile and act. So let us take an oath to do that the entire year, as you say, 6 months. Let us think, let us act, and let us smile. Always come with a smiling face. So I would like to hear from the keynote speaker. What is your opinion about today's meeting, and how you felt it?
So, I just
Yeah.
so I felt that this was a very positive vibe when I walked in, and it just got accentuated as the meeting progressed. So people are very supportive of each other. The other thing I felt was a lot of on the I like the fact that there was a bit of popularity because that sort of makes it more clear in people's mind that this responsibilities, not just a job where you do not you should not do the job you have to. And so that was emphasized in a very nice way through a very formal process. And the fact that there was a formal process in such a supportive environment actually amplified the impact I think the whole club has on the members of the group. So I think it's a great experience.
Thank you. Ji.
Smiling face, really happy, looking forward to
Be a part of it.
it.
Now I would like to hear from the mentor herself.
Good evening once again.
Yeah.
So I'm also representing my Toastmasters Club, Mekon Communication Club, and it's really a proud moment for me to see our baby growing so well and progressing as well. I think it's the 5th year now, Santoshi? 5th year. Yeah.
2020.
Yes.
It was 5.
Yeah. So this is the 5th year, and it's really nice. Like each term, the person who has taken over, the presiding officer, has contributed in his own way and added his own flavor for the growth of the club. And some members who are there initially, they have left, and that is a part of Toastmasters. Like people come and people go, but it is the organization that is important. And if the systems are in place, no matter who is at the helm of affairs, it goes on. And of course, we have some pillars like it was mentioned, Santosh Kejriwal and Ramdas Bhatt, who have been here since a long time. And they have made sure that the club is continuing and growing well. So all the best to all of you. It's really nice to be here.
Thank you. After President, few words.
But the only thing what is lacking is and it was called like Mekon regularly they make 50-60 because of the students and they attack each other, they win. So that's how that is missing.
have quite knowledgeable people, experienced people, don't know much about it. But we need to get members, means there is a NITK college.
Thank you very much. We are already planning to work, and we, the VP membership will take care of it.
Invite our ex-president as well. So we would like to give a memento to our keynote speaker today for inspiring us and giving us a lot of insights to entrepreneurship and leadership and a lot of other activities.
Call him JK.
New name. Meta-centric. Yeah, it may not be nothing for your collection, but my job.
Yes, thank you.
So I call this meeting adjourned. Thank you.